If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. It's a strip club.
That's what some people in San Jose say has taken over their quiet neighborhood, and only the ABC 7 News I-Team has the story tonight. Good evening, I'm Karina Nova.
And I'm Larry Beal. Thanks for joining us. Neighbors say loud parties every weekend. It's been going on for months despite endless calls to 311, 911, code enforcement, and more. And we should warn some viewers that some of the images and the content that you're going to see could be graphic.
ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Melanie Woodrow is here with a story you'll see only on 7. Melanie?
Larry and Karina, residents tell me if they didn't see this party house with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it. The I-Team got a look at what's happening Thursday through Saturday night from after midnight until the early morning hours, both outside and inside these parties. I also spoke with the person hosting them about what's going on. Exotic dancers, alcohol, and stacks of ones. Before Fresh Promotions' private party was up and running on Camille Circle in San Jose, neighbors say they heard construction during the middle of the night for months.
What they were building, I had no idea.
So we called the general manager, and he thought maybe it was them lifting weights.
Andy Benzinger is laughing because he believes he now knows what was being built. Residents provided the ABC 7 News I-Team with pictures of empty exercise and dance pole boxes thrown out in a communal garbage. Once construction stopped, the music started.
It's not Mozart, it's strip club music.
Neighbors say they found video from inside the parties by clicking on a map within the Snapchat app. All of these videos public. Most of them too explicit to show here.
It's literally every weekend.
Benzinger is an attorney whose relative lives on Camille Circle. He's now representing approximately 12 units.
This is an unlicensed commercial activity right in the middle of a group of townhomes. It's flabbergasting. It's unbelievable.
ABC 7 News obtained video of people coming and going from the complex during the middle of the night. At the base of the stairs, individuals wearing shirts that say security, escorting them to the party by flashlight.
It's mild for me. I don't want to live like this.
It's why this resident agreed to talk with me, but asked me not to show her face because of concerns for her safety. For months, she says she called 311, 911, and even police directly.
When you're calling, what are you telling the 911 call operator?
I'm telling them that there is a strip club at this particular unit.
And what is the response of the 911 call operator when you say there's a strip club going on at this unit?
Basically, they take the call and they tell me that they will deal with it.
But she says despite her efforts, every weekend the parties continue.
Did police come out for each of those calls?
I have no idea.
The I-Team asked San Jose police to look up several case numbers provided to us by the resident. A spokesperson said they were either noise or music complaints. I asked further about 3 calls to 911 in one weekend, one on August 18th at 4:42 a.m. A spokesperson told the I-Team police did not respond to that 911 call because the supervisor requested the information be turned over to the Bureau of Investigations for follow-up. Police said another call on August 19th at 4:58 a.m. was solely a music complaint, and there was no police response. In a final call to 911 on August 20th at 4:08 a.m., San Jose police said communications personnel called the reporting party back for an update on the noise disturbance prior to dispatching officers. When unable to reach the caller for a status update, the call was canceled. In a follow-up email to ABC 7 News, a spokesperson referred to the noise disturbance as a low-priority call.
There isn't the sense of urgency that I think this kind of a situation is entitled to.
A San Jose police spokesperson told the I-Team public information officers and other department personnel were not available for interviews. By email, the spokesperson told the I-Team SJPD was first made aware of the allegations in early August and that an investigation into what they call the illegal business is open and ongoing. But the person hosting the parties told me he's not doing anything illegal. I called the number listed on the invitations and spoke with someone for 22 minutes who identified himself as Fresh. He told me the private parties are for friends and family and that his mom, who lived in the townhome, recently passed away. He denied charging money to get in or for bottle service and told ABC 7 News that $200 for bottles referred to tokens, not dollars. He said the exotic dancers are entertainers, family, and friends, not employees. He called these security guards his brothers, who work a graveyard shift at clubs, and that if they're outside, it's because they're smoking.
If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. It's a strip club.
In addition to SJPD, residents filed complaints with other agencies. San Jose's Code Enforcement Deputy Director told the I-Team Code Enforcement has opened a case to investigate any potential zoning, building, or municipal code violations within its purview. Also, that it is coordinating with SJPD on the issues at the townhome.
Then coordinate. Take care of this problem now before it gets worse.
The Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control told the I-Team it could not confirm or deny if it's investigating, but reiterated that it looks into every complaint received. Also, that the sale of alcoholic beverages in California without an appropriate license is a misdemeanor violation of the Business and Professions Code. An attorney for the Homeowners Association told me he had no comment. Enforcement aside, a person who told me she's been helping the landlord said an eviction process is underway, but also takes time. Texting me, quote, "We are doing everything we can to get these people out ASAP while we are waiting for the court clerk to process the paperwork." An effort the party's host may be aware of. When I shared neighbors' concerns, he apologized and offered to keep the music down. He also said he expects to leave within the next 20 days. Thursday afternoon, a sheriff's deputy walked up the stairs and placed an eviction notice on the window, giving the people inside until September 6th to leave or be forced out. In the meantime, people who live here are at their wits' end.
I really feel traumatized by it. This is not safe. It's dangerous.
It only takes one time for things to go terribly wrong here.
So whoever is inside has until next Wednesday to leave the premises, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Big holiday weekend. So the question here is, will they have some parties to sort of close out the weekend? We'll talk to residents and find out.
It's pretty bold just to do this, but then even more brazen to post video on social media. It's almost inviting scrutiny and the police.
Well, you saw there were invitations that were posted, and of course the person who's hosting the parties had an explanation for all of that. He said donations, tokens, not charging people, it's friends and family, but yes, on Snapchat, on social media, certainly put it out there for anyone to take a look.
Wow.
Right. We'll be looking forward to your follow-up next week on this to see what happens on Wednesday. Thank you, Melanie.